Hi, my name is Matt Swarchek, Director of Television at Fostoria City Schools. This is episode 9 of Focus on Redmen. You are going to see one piece today on the episode. It's a long piece, but a really cool piece we have not done before. Tori Talker, one of our producers, takes you through the LGBTQ Alliance. It includes an interview and some background information from Tori. We really hope you enjoy it.
Hey, it's me again, Tori Talker, and today I'm not going to talk about the art club. Today I'm actually going to talk about something that is actually kind of important to me. It's the LGBTQ plus Alliance that we started last year here in school, and I'll be talking to Miss Green, who is the club advisor and the founder of this club. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background on what I'm doing here. So basically, I found this club through a friend of mine. She was talking about this stuff, and it's like, okay, so do you mind if I come join you? I'll see what's going on. And it's not just like strictly like meetings. We have a lot of fun doing things. We have like an introductory thing every meeting where we like do a get to know you thing for new people, and we learn more about each other. And I dropped in one day because I didn't have art club that day, and it was a lot of fun. So I came to every meeting since, and it's just really important to me. It's like the arts and this stuff and highlight, which I might do a bit on later if you keep on watching. Alright, so anyways, we're going to go to Miss Green, and we're going to get some background on this club.
Now, before we go on to the interview, I decided that I should probably get you familiarized with some of the identities and the flags associated with them. So I'll be elaborating on a couple and kind of skimming over others because I don't want to get this too long. But I will not misinterpret any information that I find on these identities, and I won't misrepresent those identities themselves, or I'll try my best not to. So if you find this offensive in one area, please just know I am sorry. I am not perfect. I'm human. And so we'll be going on first with probably the most iconic, the rainbow flag. Okay, so first up, the most iconic flag, the rainbow flag. Now this was designed by the late Gilbert Baker, and for this information I'm using newnownnext.com's Beyond the Rainbow Guide to the Identities and the Flags. And so the original design originally had 8 colors: hot pink, which represented sex; red represented life; orange represented healing; yellow represented sunlight; green represented nature; turquoise, magic and arts; indigo, serenity; and violet for the spirit. And since some dyes were not easily acquired for the original design of the flag, he had to adapt it to what we see today, the 6-stripe flag. Next up, transgender flag. Alright, so here is the transgender flag, designed by trans woman Monica Helms in 1999. And again, this information is from newnownnext.com. And the reasoning behind the design is stated by Helms as being the light blue is a traditional color for baby boys, pink is for girls, and the white in the middle is for those who are transitioning, those who feel they have a neutral gender or no gender, and those who are intersexed. The pattern is such that no matter which way you fly it, it will always be correct. This symbolizes us trying to find correctness in our own lives. Now this will be the ones that I skim over because there's not much information that I could find on it on the online guide, but it's pretty simple. This is the pansexual pride flag, and the 3 colors, pink, blue, and yellow, represent women, non-binary and or gender non-conforming individuals, and men. Pink is obviously for women, yellow is for those who do not identify with the gender norms of society, and blue is for men. Alright, so here is probably one of the more commonly seen flags, the bisexual flag. It was designed by Michael Page, and it borrows its colors from an older symbol of bisexuality, which is 2 overlapping pink and dark blue triangles, which were nicknamed the bi-angles. Okay, I'm sorry, just bi-angles, seriously. Okay, not judging, but that's just hilarious to me. Strangely enough, this one just couldn't be found on newnownnext.com, but this is the lesbian pride flag. This one I'll keep it short and sweet. This is pretty much for those who identify as women who are sexually or romantically attracted to other women. Okay, so this one is the asexual pride flag. It debuted in 2010, and it features colors from another LGBTQ+ symbol, the logo of the Asexual Visibility and Education Network. And that logo is a triangle fading from white to black, symbolizing the spectrum of ace identities, including gray, asexuals, and demisexuals. Now, the agender pride flag might seem a bit similar in meaning to the asexual flag, but it's actually not the same. Unlike asexual, agender is for those who don't identify as having a gender. It's those who have an absence of gender, or those who are of a non-binary gender. Okay, so this final one here that I'm going to be showing to you today is the non-binary flag. It was designed by 17-year-old Kai Rowan in 2014. I am so sorry if I butchered your name. Now, like the intersex flag, which I did not display here because I couldn't find information on it, its non-gender colors are also meant to distance the symbol from binary gender identities. And this is personally what I identify as. So, there's a little background about me. Alright, now we'll go on to the interview with Miss Green.
Alright, so here we are with Ms. Green. Hello.
Hi.
So, I was here to talk about the Alliance. Can you give us a little bit of background on why you started the club?
Yeah, well, I am a co-founder of this club. Our former guidance counselor, Mrs. Reed, helped form this club, and actually it was her idea, and she let me tag along, which is really great, but I thought it was really important. So we started out kind of small, just having a meeting, once a month or so, getting to know people, trying to figure out maybe some things we could do here at the school to help promote LGBTQ awareness and sensitivity to LGBTQ issues. And I thought we were pretty successful last year, and hopefully after second semester starts, we can start having meetings and stuff again very regularly, hopefully maybe a couple times a month, to put together some new ideas for things that we want to do and ways that we want to get our message out to people.
Yeah, since last year was our first year, it started off really rocky. And then the second year is a little bit rockier. It's like a marching band, because I'm not really a rookie with that, but then I'm not a veteran, I'm somewhere in between. Like, I know stuff, but I don't know stuff.
Right.
So that's how this club's going with this year. The second year is going to be the toughest.
Well, and Miss Reed isn't here with us anymore, so I'm kind of trying to figure out how to tackle this stuff on my own, which has been a bit of a challenge. I've been kind of poking around and asking if anybody wants to join me, and haven't had any nibbles yet. So I'm thinking maybe after second semester we're just going to say the heck with it, and we're going to go full blast, and we're going to make the best that we can out of it, and then hopefully we'll get a really nice head start for next year, and we can start at the very beginning and carry it all the way through and do all the stuff that we really want to do. I'm hoping maybe to bring in some guest speakers for you guys, people that I know who have been part of other alliances, either in college or on maybe a larger scale, so that you guys can have more experience with how these sorts of groups function outside of just a high school, on a larger scale, national level.
National level is like really. I haven't even come out to my family yet. So, I mean, at school, everyone just automatically was like, oh, yep, she's not straight. Everyone knows that with me, but at home it's like, I gotta pretend, because it's really hard to come out sometimes, especially when you're in an environment like I'm in, like all the struggles our family has with accepting those who are outsiders.
Absolutely, I understand that, and that's part of, one of the founding kind of missions of our group was to help, people feel accepted and loved and cherished and valued for who they are, because we all know that there are people who are not accepting of LGBTQ people, and that's their opinion, and they're allowed to have that opinion, but we can't let the opinions of others affect us and dictate who we are. We have to rise above that and say, I understand that maybe this isn't your idea of what normal is, but normal is very subjective, and this is my idea, this is me, and this is who I am, and I'm comfortable with that. And if you're not, okay. But having the ability to stand up for yourself and say, it's okay if you don't like who I am, I do.
Yeah, so this is like a safe haven for those who are like uncomfortable with coming out to others. Like, they don't have to come out to everyone at once. It's like, okay, I know I belong here. This is like where I can figure myself out, and then when I'm ready, I'll come out.
Absolutely. And we never want to take that opportunity away from anybody, because you're right, coming out is a really difficult process. I've helped many friends throughout my years talk to their families and come out to their families. And it's always, it's always a little rocky at first. A lot of times I found that they came around, and sometimes they didn't. But part of feeling like you can come out is having a really good group of supportive people to help you come out to your family. So part of, that's why we call it the alliance, right? You don't have to be LGBTQ to be in this club. You can be an ally. You can be just someone who might be straight, who says, I'm not gay, but I accept you for who you are, and I value you for who you are, and I want to support you in your struggles to be who you are.
Yeah, that's really important to have like people who support you, even if they don't like agree with it. I'm really glad I found this place.
Good.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was exactly. It was one of my friends in my grade who introduced me.
Excellent. Well, and that's the best way to really bring people in is word of mouth. If you can tell people, hey, I found this club and I think it'd be really great for you, and I think it'd be really awesome if you came and joined us just to see what we're about. There's no strong, you have to be here kind of commitment, but this might be something that you're interested in, and if they are, cool. If they're not, that's okay too, because they can tell other people that they think might be interested in this club to come and join us. So hopefully we get a lot of that after the new year. Christmas time is one of those weird times that really makes you think about who you are and what you want as a person. So I think maybe it's kind of a mixed blessing. The second year starting out a little later, so maybe we'll have more people who are willing to come and open up and say, here I am. What can I do to help?
Right. And speaking of LGBTQ, that's quite a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's more than just those identities as well. There's the L, which stands for lesbian, right? Then G is gay, B is bisexual, T is trans, Q is queer, and then there's the I and A, which sometimes gets added on. I is intersex, right? Then A is asexual, and then the plus just means like all the other identities.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many identities out there that people can identify as. It'd be just so awkward just lump it all together because it's just gibberish then.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that plus is really helpful because we want to be as inclusive as possible because we're dealing with a subject that is often very exclusive. So yes, it's a mouthful, but it's a mouthful for a reason. And we want to make sure that we're being as proactive about our language as possible and as progressive with our language as possible to make people feel welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for this interview. I really appreciate you making some time for this.
Hey, no problem, Tori.
All right, so just watch out for news about this community, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, Tori, for that. That was really cool. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you next time on Focus on Redmen.